Hi everyone, and we're back. And today, and now, I'm going to do movie reviews for another action star. And of course, today I'm gonna talk and review is about Dolph Lundgren's "I Come in Peace." And if you're wondering why it's my title "I Come in Peace" or why it's not Dark Angel, by the way, this is the German DVD that I do have. I bought it last year. Actually, I wanted the Blu-ray, but I got the DVD instead. But I'm fine with the DVD that I do have. The reason why my titles "I Come in Peace" is because it's actually the US title, and it's imperative title for the film. And when I actually throw the disc in my Blu-ray player, it's actually in the movie it's titled "I Come in Peace." So this is international title Dark Angel, but the correct title is actually "I Come in Peace," because it was pronounced three times in the movie. Dark Angel was not pronounced in the movie. Dark Angel was actually is actually with Jessica Alba, that TV show. So, in my opinion, is "In Come in Peace." Even though it's titled Dark Angel, so just ignore this and pretend "I Come in Peace." One of my personal favorite Dolph Lundgren movies. My dad is actually a huge fan of Dolph Lundgren. And directed by Cracker Baxley, who actually worked on "I Come in Peace." And I also watched that interview from Benben, Dolph Lundgren, and of course Cracker Baxley. And this movie was actually released 1990, and that time Steven Seagal wanted to work with Cracker Baxley, but Cracker Baxley, the director, refused to work with Seagal. He didn't want to work with Seagal. He rather work with Dolph Lundgren. Said that's awesome, and I respect that. And Dolph Lundgren in his interview felt that this movie is underrated because it is underrated. 6.1 does not deserve. I will put more higher than that. "I Come in Peace" stars Dolph Lundgren, the star of the film, Matthias, Hues, Benben, Betsy Brantley. Then the rest the actors are actually Jay Bilas, Jim Haney, David Aykroyd, Sherman Howard, Sam Anderson, and of course Michael J. Pollard, and two white boys, Kevin Page, and the other one is Robert Prentice, as white boy number two. And Cracker Baxley actually wanted a movie. It's actually a sci-fi action film, definitely one of the best sci-fi action films. And Cracker Baxley, he actually wanted like RoboCop. He wanted this movie like RoboCop, and they also used the gun just like from RoboCop. And also Kevin Page, he played Mr. Kinney in RoboCop, was in this movie. So Cracker Baxley, he wanted a sci-fi film, and this is actually one of the best sci-fi action films. And it talks about an alien from outer space who drops on our Earth, and he's actually starts killing people, and he's actually a drug dealer who's actually making endorphins from our brains. He's making endorphins. This is actually like that blade on his hand that is actually using, and he goes and stabs us people in the brain. And this is actually Matthias Hues' favorite role that he did. And in that time, this movie was before CGI. Everything you saw in this movie was real, because they couldn't afford that time there weren't CGI. And Dolph Lundgren said that he really enjoyed working with Brian Benben. He enjoyed working with Betsy Brantley and Cracker Baxley, and think that I wish that Betsy Brantley would be on interview in this movie. They asked her if she would play this character, and she did right away. So that was cool. And yeah, so like I said, in the open scene there, we see a decorating because it's actually happening on the Christmas holiday. It's happening, and we see older businessman driving with a car, and like the city starts making noises, and like his car gets blown. All the explosions you see. This movie has tons of explosions. All the explosions we see were practical done. They were all practical done. There was no CGI. Everything was for real. And then we see Matthias Hues as a bad alien. He's actually bad alien. On IMDb it's written actually Talek, but he's not called. He's just a bad alien. He's the killer. He's just called as the killer in this movie, and he shows up, with long coat, and that's him. That's bad alien. That's the killer. And he says, "I come in peace." And then we have a beautiful music song by Jan Hammer, who was also Jan Hammer. He was Jan Hammer. He was also the music composer for Miami Vice. All the theme music that you saw, that you actually hear, was actually from Miami Vice, and it was cool that he was working this movie. Jan Hammer did a great, beautiful music score for this film. So yeah. Yeah, by the way, love this gun, by Agent Smith. And we see a guy breaking in this locker, in this police storage, and he's stealing drugs. He goes and kills one of the cops. He throws the knife at the guy, and the guy falls down. And I think it was Robert Prentice, White Boy 2, who throws the knife, and he goes to this police officer, says, "What seems to be the problem, officer?" I really love that, What seems to be the problem, officer? I mean, I miss that. Like in the Terminator 2, when Xander Berkeley asked T-1000, what seems to be the problem, officer? I miss this kind of lines, This is such a cool, awesome, classic film, I miss those kind of lines. And now Kevin Page and White Boy number 1, they steal the drugs from the police storage, and they put a bomb, and the whole building explodes, and practical effect, real effect. They go and blow the building. I miss that in that movie. How they actually blow whole building. I miss that. I miss the practical effect, like in Little Weapon 3. I really do miss that. So they blow the building, and then we see our hero Jack Kane, played by Dolph Lundgren. He plays Jack Kane, and he's in the stakeout with his friend Ray Turner, Detective Ray Turner, and they're like two robbers shows up to rob a liquor store, and one of them uses Mossberg 500, shotgun, and shoots the lights. And of course, when Jack Kane is listening, he throws the wire and says, keep talking, guys. And he goes to the liquor store like a pure badass he is, and he makes that roundhouse kick in the guy in the face. He goes and he really hits him. Dolph Lundgren really hits him because the guy missed the correct spot, and Dolph Lundgren really used that roundhouse kick, and he really knocks him down. That was done for real. It was done for real. Dolph Lundgren is a Swedish martial artist, and he really kicked him in the face. That was done for real. It was badass. And I love the music score, and I love when the other robber says, "Buzz, are you done, Buzz?" And he turns out, and Dolph Lundgren with the gun aims, and the robber says, "You're not Buzz, and you're not very smart, so drop it." I love it. The robber says, "Fuck you," and of course, Jack Kane goes, shoots him right in the head. The guy falls in the storage. Right, awesome scene. I love that. And meantime, Detective Ray Turner gets killed by white boys. Yes, the white boys, the drug dealers. gets killed by white boys. So now bad alien shows up, played by Matthias Hues. He shows up and he goes he goes and tries, bad alien, he shows up and he tries. Yeah, that's scene, and you're not very smart, that's actually scene. And he shows up and he uses that weapon with the disc, that weapon, shows that weapon with the disc, and this goes, cuts the first guy, the second one who falls on, third one, right, they really work with the camera, they really work well. Cracker Baxley did perfect direction, and the guy gets cut right in the neck, like real blood, it's rated R, it's like cut, the guy gets cut. And the other one who tries to run away, the same driver from the first two white boys, and of course bad alien, Matthias Hues grabs that weapon, that alien pulls weapon, and shoots, and we see what that weapon can do. And like I said, when I watched the interview, Cracker Baxley wanted a weapon that for the alien that looks like a Robocop, just like the weapon they used in Robocop, just different. So they actually used a semi-automatic pistol, 9.9mm, which was converted Calico M950. It was actually the alien pulse weapon which they actually built. But he wanted just like a weapon for Robocop. That's one of the reasons why Kevin Page was in this film. He played Mr. Kinney in Robocop, and that's what Cracker Baxley wanted. And he uses his alien weapon, his alien pulse weapon, and blows the guy to pieces, and we see an explosion, and we see what that weapon can do. And when Jack sees that there's a practical explosion, and Dolph Lundgren says shit, and he goes there, jumps like a badass, and he finds his best friend Ray. And then we find out that he disappeared 8 days because he was chasing Victor Manning, the head of the table of the white boys. He was chasing him. And now his friend gets killed, and his Captain Malone, played by Jim Haney, puts him on a vacation. And that time, FBI agent, or more FBI supervisor, Inspector Switzer, played by David Aykroyd, finds out, and he makes sure that Jack Kane is put back on a case. And he gets partner, and his partner is Special Agent Artwood Larry Smith, played by Brian Benben, who did a great job. Brian Benben, like a pure badass he is. I think he's married with Andy McDowell. Not sure, I forgot to check out, but Brian Benben was awesome in this movie. So they work together to find those bodies. What happened? And they go to this bar, and we see the actor, this blonde actor who plays Michael J. Pollard. I had no idea that 2 years ago he passed away. I had no idea. He was in Tango and Cash. He was also in Next of Kin, in Patrick Swayze, which was this movie. This movie. No, that it wasn't in this movie with Patrick Swayze. It was the next movie that was released, Next of Kin, in Patrick Swayze movie. He was friend of Liam Neeson, he was actually friend of Liam Neeson. And he was also the friend of Kurt Russell in Tango and Cash. And he was also in this movie Boner. But if you watch the trailer, in the trailer, Boner, played by Michael J. Pollard, he says, "I have a bad day." That scene was completely cut. I think that scene is not even on Blu-ray. I'm not sure. I don't think that I actually watched last year, and I couldn't find that scene. Not even on the Blu-ray version. It's completely cut when he says, "I had a bad day." No, completely it's cut. But yeah, that scene in the trailer is actually missing. I wish if there's out there somewhere director's cut would like to see it. But yeah, so yeah, the next and of course while Jack Kane and Agent Smith, they try to find out who the killer is. There's actually a new player in town who actually the killer is. there's actually a new alien shows up, and this time is a good alien, played by basketball player Jay Bilas, who plays a good alien. He's actually law enforcement. He's actually a law enforcement, just a policeman, just like Jack Kane, and he gets actually his mission to hunt down bad alien, the killer. He has a mission to hunt him down, and so meantime, a bad alien not only steals the drugs, but he also kills people. He goes like grabs that guy in the warehouse, in that vehicle, grabs him, kills him, and we see what this guy does. He actually steals endorphins from our brains. He uses this weapon. He has a great blade on his arm, and he uses that. He kills people. And meantime, Jack and Larry, they go back in the bar, and they found this disc, which is actually a magnetic disc, that only holds in the magnet. And of course, they both go now they grab that disc. They go to Jack's apartment, and Jack also tries to take care of his personal relationship with Betsy Brantley. Too bad she's not in this cover, but she's actually a pathologist. Diane Pallone. She's actually working on the autopsy of the bodies, and Jack goes to her, and she slaps him. I love that she slaps him, and he gets back the next day to his apartment, finds his apartment destroyed, and also we see that then that actually his partner Larry Smith shows up, and I love, so you got here, yeah, I just got here, huh? I love that, I also love the lines in this movie. And then we see an auto mechanic, and that's played by Mimi Cochrane. I think it was by Mimi Cochrane. I love the auto mechanic woman. I love that girl. What a great actress. By the way, they actually made mistakes. She should use a real auto mechanic, also a real mechanic actually uses that blue uniform suit. Even I am mechanic by occupation, so I used that blue suit, because if you get all the oil and all the dirt on it, you're gonna ruin your clothes. So they kind of screwed up, but I think that the actors did a great job. My favorite scene is actually in the mechanic shop when this beautiful girl gets attacked. This mechanic, she gets attacked by Matthias Hues. I wish she would be also in interview, but they never give her a chance, And I also love the song XYZ, Maggie. I love that song, Maggie in on the line, Maggie. I love that song. That's my favorite song. That's my favorite scene in the film. When Matthias Hues goes and kills this poor girl, she's mechanic. And and of course, while Kane and Larry, they're driving, they're actually being followed by two white boys, and there's a car chase, a real car chase, and they use Hues and destroy their vehicle, and Brian Benben uses that Smith & Wesson, it was 357 Magnum, with I think was no, it wasn't laser, with that sniper on it. He uses and shoots and blows the white boys, one of the white boys' windshield, just like they would destroy their windshield. And then Jack goes to the white boys, says, "That's it, Warren's dead." He also finds the postcard of the man in their Kane. I wish you will be dead. And he's like in Rio, and I love that. And I love when Jack says, "That's it, Warren's dead." By the way, if you remember RoboCop 1987, there's actually this actor who plays Captain Reed. His name is also Warren. So I think Cracker Baxley really liked RoboCop, so he renamed one of the bad guys, the villains, Warren. So that's awesome. Warren was played by Sam Anderson, but that was awesome. And this movie set in Houston, which they actually did filmed in Houston on Christmas holiday. So that's awesome in my opinion. So they go. So now Dolph Lundgren goes to the elevator and goes and kicks butt. The guy grabs him. He goes like with his elbow in the face. And that wasn't a stuntman when Dolph Lundgren kicks the guy in the head. He's a 360 kick in the face. That wasn't actually a stuntman. I think it was actually his master, his sensei, who was training him karate. He gets right in the face. I love that. I love that scene. And he shows up to Warren, and they actually have a talk, And I love when Warren said, "Why I'm even talking to this guy?" He tells him drug war, and of course, Jack says, "I had nothing to do by killing your white boys," and Warren says, "Bullshit. Your cops are calling drug war." And I love when Dolph Lundgren says, "Drug war, what the hell are you talking about?" And Warren says, "Why am I even talking to this guy?" One of the men says, "Because you're gonna kill him." and Dolph Lundgren says, "You forget who's got the gun." "Oh, I'll think something." I love Sam Anderson as Warren, And Brian Benben gets a hostage. So they make a deal, And when he goes. When actually Jack Kane goes for the money, to that buyer, it turns out it's Al Leon from this movie Die Hard. Uli from Die Hard is also is actually the buyer, and he goes and screws them over and says, Al Leon says, "Tell the white boys to kiss my ass," and he tries to escape. Jack goes back, but the guy gets killed, and of course bad alien tax Kane grabs him, and throws him. But been saved by J.B. Lass, he's been saved by good alien, which blows, and of course bad alien runs, and like the good alien, J.B. Lass goes and destroys with his alien weapon, goes with his semi-automatic pistol. He goes and destroys the car, and Matthias Hues is running, and that was done for real. That car was really explosion. It's such a beautiful shot of car being exploded to pieces, when he runs. I really do love that. And and when Matthias Hues is running through the cars, and they actually blow the cars. They actually blow cars. That was actually practical effects, real. And Matthias Hues, he did all his own stunts. They couldn't find a stunt double because he was 6.5 tall, and they couldn't find any stunt double. So Matthias Hues was very athletic, and he did all his own stunts. And Cracker Baxley was really proud of this film. And this movie is a cult classic. It's a classic in my opinion. Definitely one of Dolph Lundgren's best films. And of course during the shootout, good alien gets hurt, and of course when because alien did attack, he did attack this cop in a store, and he killed with the disc two guys. And I love the beautiful shot when that homeless man gets hit by a disc, he falls through the glass. That was beautiful shot. Cracker Baxley did a beautiful shot. And he tried to kill him, but the good alien saves him. The good alien also saved Jack, and Jack tells his theory that actually two aliens, drug dealers, they actually hunt the drug dealers from outer space. And one of them is actually the killer, a bad guy. The other one is on their side, it's a good guy. And at first Larry doesn't believe him, his captain doesn't believe him, and tells him, "Then bring me some proof," And I love when Jack says, "That's two," or when Brian Ben says, "How many do I get?" Or Brian Ben says, "Switzer manual." I love that, and when there's a witness and they go to the witness and Diane's not been let in it. And Jack shows up, and this guy, and Diane says, "This Neanderthal doesn't let me in. This asshole. Thank you. This asshole is the one in me." And it says Jack, Detective Jack came, and the guy says, "No, I don't care your badge." And I love when Mr. Smith says, "I'm gonna deal with this." Smith, Special Agent, FBI. You can pull your wallets. You're not going in. And I love it. All say, "Oh, think we are." And two guys shows up and say, "No, I think so." They go and see the crime scene, which is awesome in my opinion. So yeah, so that actually was so. So now Kane gets on the vacation. His captain alone sends him to on vacation. So he goes, he tells Diane that she should quit. They go now on long vacation. And in the car, they found the good alien. And he tells her there's actually a drug dealer, and he's looking for Betsy. You call it endorphins, and he asks the Jack to stop him, and Jack promises to stop him, and that he will stop the bad alien if he returns with. He's gonna kill for 1,000 people just to get the drug, the prices drug cheaply, and if he returns, there's gonna kill others, and it's gonna be a slaughter. And the good alien begs, he actually asks Jack to promise he must destroy him. So Jack says, "Yes, I will destroy him. I promise," and he gets and the good alien gets blown to pieces, and we see another explosion. This movie has tons of explosions, practical effect explosion, love the explosion in this movie, and of course Larry grabs the gun, grabs alien, pulls weapon, and he goes to Switzerland. He goes to Switzer, but turns out that Switzer wants to kill him, and Jack saves him, And I also love when they actually have an argument, and of course, Benben says, what, fuck you, I do my job. What's the difference? I'm a team player. And I love when Dolph Lundgren says, "Well, your team sucks." I love that, And Jack saved him. He shoots right Switzer in the head right here when Switzer tried to hit, when Switzer tried to hit, he tried to hit him, Agent Smith. And they go to stop this drug dealer. They fight. There's a fight. It's not close encounter. It's the last. They go to fight him, and Smith grabs the gun, shoots the guy, but he only put level 1. He's supposed to put level 4, but he didn't know. No one know that. What that gun is used, and the bad alien falls down. And they actually put once again the level and shoots him, and he loses the drug. And so now they do have. So now Jack and Smith, they have the drugs, and they go back to his. They actually go back to his to Jack's home, and they say, "Now we're gonna do whatever it takes." And he says, "Now we're actually gonna go whatever it takes so that we can have a clean shot." They go home, and Diane shows up, and I love when Jack grabs that shotgun. Jack grabs that shotgun, which is awesome. He has Remington 870 12 gauge. And it's Diane, and then of course 2 white boys shows up when they go outside, and they're shooting with machine guns, and of course Matthias, who shows up and shoots, like he kills both with explosion. He kills both the white boys, even the cop he shoots. There's a lot of bodies in this film, and of course he uses the gun. He goes and uses the gun. Then there's now they actually go in the car. All 3 they escape. The bad alien chases them. I love the everything you saw, that the car chases, that was done for real. It was practical done. It was done for real. I love the car chase. I love the music by Jen Hammer. They actually go through through that market, to the how's it called? They go to that through that store. They actually drive to the store on a Christmas, holiday. They drive to the store. All that scene. They blow out. They actually destroy the glass window, the glass door. They destroy the glass door. They go with the car. Destroy the glass door, which is awesome in my opinion. I love that scene. Yeah, the car chases, when Bat Alien steals the cop's car and he chases them because they have his drugs. They have actually his endorphins, his drugs, and they're still after them, and he goes to chase them through town, and there's another police car shows up and says, "You, the police vehicle, stop it over immediately," and he grabs the disc, shoots the cop right in the neck, and the guy hits the wall, it blows to pieces. I love that scene. I love the car explosion done for real. And of course Larry says, damn, says, shit, he's still with us, and said, that's it, he's a level 2, goes and destroys his car. They actually stop the car, and he says, take that, you son of a bitch. Oh shit, he runs, the bad alien goes and runs after them. Oh shit, he goes after them, and they go to this plant. They actually drive to this plant, which is actually the final counter, and Larry tries to shoot him, but when Jack puts the bait, but he can't, he can't do that. Because the gun is empty, and I love when a bad alien finds there's no drug and he jumps through the window, and Jack, like a pure badass with his shotgun, goes and shoots the guy. Bang, 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 bang. He shoots him like in Terminator. Bang, bang, bang. He shoots him, and they run, and I also love when Jack throws two gas tankers on the floor and shoots twice, bang, bang, with his shotgun, and cause an explosion, practical explosion. I love that. And the bad alien shoots on them. There's like real explosion. They all three have to run. No stunt doubles, done for real. I love that. And Dolph Lundgren said this is before even CGI was, So that was awesome, before the CGI was. And so that's actually, so on the end, he goes and he punches, the bad alien goes, punches Mr. Smith falls down, on the car, he lands on the car. Yeah, he punches him, the guy lands on the car, he grabs Diane, and Jack convinces him to let the girl go. He does, because he's destroying his drugs, and now the bad alien can destroy Kane because Kane has his drugs, and there's a fight scene. He throws the disc on him, drops the gun, throws the disc on him. There's a fight scene. Jack, like a pure badass he is, tries to use that long pipe, but the pipe doesn't work. He shows him, and he throws that wire. Forgot, he uses that wire, to his hand. He uses that wire. He uses that wire. He uses that wire, with his hand. He uses that wire so that he actually goes and steals from our chest. I think he steals some blood or something. He goes and steals with his blade endorphins from our brains. But he uses that wire, tries to stab with that wire. Jack grabs the wire. He goes and throws them, and he holds him back. Really great scene. And Jack jumps, and I love when Tyler says the bad alien says, "I win." And I love when Jack holds like this, the wire says, "Fuck you, spaceman," and he goes and stabs him in the neck. I love that. He holds his wire like this and says, "Fuck you, spaceman," and he goes and stabs him. I love that scene. That's my favorite scene. And the guy throws the wire down, he goes and throws that wire down, and Jack goes, kicks him, and stabs him. And then at the end, he uses the weapon, puts on level 4, and aims, and Matthias Hues says, I come in peace! And I love it. Dolph Lundgren says, and you go in pieces, asshole. And he goes, blows the guy to pieces. Real practical effect, real explosion. And yeah, that movie, and then of course the movie ends. And I love this movie to death. Probably I think it's actually my third favorite. It's actually my third favorite Dolph Lundgren film. My favorite will always gonna be Showdown Little Tokyo. My second favorite is Universal Soldier. This will be my third favorite of Dolph Lundgren. It has all practical effects. Dolph Lundgren's best performance, not great best performance. Best performance by Benben as Agent Smith. Best performance by Matthias Hues. Dolph Lundgren's best performance by the actress Mimi Cochrane as a mechanic. Best performance by basketball player Jay Bilas. And of course, great direction by Cracker Baxley. He later did Stone Cold, which I do have that movie in Blu-ray, but I don't have this one on Blu-ray. But I love both the movies. I think this will be my favorite Cracker Baxley film. Even as a kid, I watched this film. Even as a kid, I watched this film. When I saw the trailer, I wanted to see the film. All the explosions, the actions. I only wish that Warren and Victor Manning Walden and escape. This is actually the first movie the two villains escape, but Jack kills one of the robbers and he kills him. Anyway, that's my movie review on I Come in Peace, 1990. I love this movie. It has I love the car chases, the practical effects, the explosions, the fight scenes like roundhouse kick in the face by Dolph Lundgren. I love that. Love this film. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you next time in my next review. And that's actually going to be Showdown in Little Tokyo. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.